Hi everybody, it's Amy at Crafty Cat, and I'm here today to do another I Saw It in Somerset Studio Magazine little activities that we've been doing. This time we are going to do, let me just do this, the paintbrushes. However, I am not doing real paintbrushes because the size of paintbrushes that I mainly use are, you know, sort of this size, which there's nothing wrong with this. I could have easily done this one, but I don't have a lot of old ones other than like this and maybe, you know, one other or whatever. And also, I'm not really sure what I would do with it. It looks very cool, and I do love them. They would look very cool on a shelf. I just don't really have a place for them. So I'm going to do a paper version that I can use in my journals. So, let's see. And of course, you could use a lot of these same techniques to do the real paintbrush version. It's just that I'm choosing not to do that. So this is what I am going to do. Something like this. And they gave templates in the Somerset Studio Magazine. They are right here. But I can't give these to you guys, so I made my own because this, you know, is Somerset Studios, so I can't give it to you guys. But you'll get a freebie today, and in the freebie is this page, which you can print however many times to make as many paintbrushes as you like, in whichever of the sizes. And then you'll also get 2 pages of, you know, some flowers, some ladies. These little skinny ones are for the skinny paintbrushes. If you're like, what in the world? I mean, they'd be fun to play with just in your journal anyhow, but they were meant to go on those ones. And then the bigger ones obviously are kind of meant for these fatter paintbrushes, and I'll show you. So, and then the flowers, you can, you know, cut them out, tear them, you know, do whatever you want with those to get this sort of effect. You can see I put, there's a flower, this is a Tim Holtz butterfly, a flower here, another flower that I fussy cut there, another one there. She has flowers in her hair. I didn't really mean to stamp on her face, but I actually kind of like it. I even used a little piece of doily here. You can use any bits and pieces because you'll see, I'll just stick that there. On these, let me go to the next page. Because it gives you, oh, and this one's by Kim Collister. I keep forgetting to say the names in my video. I always put them on my Instagram, but for some reason, these are real paintbrushes, but she's got all kinds of stuff. Flowers all the way up the handle, little bits of like Victorian scrap on that one. And of course, I didn't have these same images, so I got different images, but you can notice, you know how the paint gets all stuck down in the brushes and all that kind of thing. So we're going to kind of work on that. And I sort of did that. You'll notice here I have, you know, kind of the old paint in there and just old paint all over. I mean, I kind of went a little crazier with the old paint, and I chose to make a red paintbrush, but obviously you can make them whatever colors you like the best to go with your pieces. So actually I'm gonna leave this out in case I need to show it again. So that is what we're going to do today, and I've done a couple just so that I've got some dry, because you know there's always the whole drying time, but they're just paper, and I printed mine on craft cardstock, and it's just 65-pound cardstock, so it's not like super thick, but you know, fairly substantial and will work fine. Like I made mine into a belly band. You could even stack a couple on top of each other if you wanted to give it even more of that feel of like a paintbrush. And the painting is not perfect here, but it doesn't matter. A lot of this gets covered up. It's just you know, I just like to paint them so that if there's any part showing, it's not a problem. So I have this messy, and I left the paint in these, which I don't normally do. I mean, it hasn't been that long. I just painted those other ones a little bit ago, but you kind of want it dry, because if you dip them into water, then you're going to lose you're going to lose that kind of dry edge that these get. And these are just those cheapo kid paintbrushes that you can get at the craft store for next to nothing. So if you have the one, if you use the one with the hole in it, the paintbrush that has the hole, you'll need to probably poke the hole first just so you don't cover it up. I mean, a lot of these lines are going to get covered up. Don't worry about the lines. They're just kind of a guideline. So it's not a big deal if they do get covered up, but I will show you kind of how I did it so that you can do your own. The first thing I did was I'm going to go in and do the bristles, because that's going to get painted over. So you want to just kind of, let me spray a little water on here because these are a little bit dry. You're going to get a little bit of your color, whatever. And this part is kind of all mixy because you're pretending it's the paint that gets stuck all the way down in here. So you want it fanned out and stuff. You don't want a ton of paint, is what I'm trying to say, if the words would come out of my mouth. Because you're just giving that illusion of, yeah, there's paint down in there. And you can see I'm going over that line. That's why I'm doing this part first, because then when I come back with the gold or the silver, you're going to cover up some of that. Not that it really matters, but... you just want it dry brush, dry brush, dry brush. I can't say it enough because it will have an effect. So trust me, you don't want it to be sopping wet with paint, globs of paint, because it's just not going to give you that same effect. And I would put lighter maybe paints down here simply because when you put that darker brown over the top, you're just going to see it better if it's a lighter color, to give you the effect of, yeah, there's old paint jammed down in there. Yeah, I really liked the actual paintbrushes. I just didn't know if I would really use it a whole lot, or, you know, I put it on a shelf, but I don't know. I just wanted to do paper ones. Paper's more my medium. But of course, you can use a lot of the same techniques, and you won't have to do any of this part if you use that. So now I am going tiny bit thicker bits down there. It's really like everything else, a layering thing, and you just got to kind of be patient. I mean, this isn't real hard. So just take your time and get, you know, a little bit of color in there, if I could talk. And I think you'll be happy. I am going to rinse that one. I don't rinse the big ones because, like I said, once they're wet, they're a lot harder to get dry. This one, I can squeeze it and get it pretty dry pretty quick. Okay, then I'm going to do the handle. And I think I'm going to do kind of a blue-green sort of a thing. Ugh, that's getting yuck. I think I might get a new piece of Mylar here. And some green, a little white. You can just play around. Mix up colors, make your own colors. Do whatever floats your boat. And again, you want it dry, so you don't want globs on there. And I just kind of turning it this way. With the bigger brushes, I go this way. Just kind of gives you that worn out look. That's why I did the craft instead of white paper. Because that gives you a little bit of that brown. But you could easily add some brown, like to get a little darker if you want. Okay, so that just sort of looks like it's dry, faded, whatever. For this one, I think I'm going to go with the silver. I did do on this one the gold. Or maybe I will do the gold on that one because I have I'll just do the opposite of these. So I'll do gold on this one and I'll do silver on that one. But again, like I said, a lot of this is going to get covered, so it doesn't really matter. But, you know, you just never know. Like, bits of it can show, and then you don't want it to look weird because you didn't do anything with it. It's good to have these nice, that nice chiseled edge. And this is part of a pack of cheapo paintbrushes, so you don't have to have fancy paintbrushes to do this. This is crafting brushes. And I'm just, forgot to say, it's just acrylic, you know, that you can buy at the store. I even have this whole cheap pack of these that my husband bought off of Amazon for something he was doing. He didn't like them, so I just took them over, basically. They don't have to be fancy. And then I'm going to take the brown to do the bristles of the brush. And it's like a, what is it? Burnt umber or raw umber? Raw umber. But you could even do colors, you know, like those bristles have color. But the thing about that is you're going to lose a lot of this paint thing that's going on if you do that. And really it's best to use that one direction if you're trying to get that bristle look. And these are pretty dry, so it does work better when you do it right away. You know, your bristles get all dried out. So if you're going to make them, I would suggest do all the painting of however many you want to make. And then do the rest of it, because it does change how it works. And I'm just getting a little white. To get that sort of look. And you can play with it and just figure out what works for you, what you like, the look that you feel like is right for what you're doing. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing with this one. And I probably could have done, you know, this on both of them. I'm just awful about doing that. But yeah, assembly line fashion would probably be smart. Do this part to all the ones you're going to do, then do the next step, and then the next step, you know. That's probably the smart way. I tend to do things the difficult way. The convoluted way. That dry. And let's do the handle. This one, maybe kind of a brown color, yellowish. It's going to be a mess because I have this other color in here. Yellow. Yeah, if you already have old paintbrushes, then you're probably not going to have any trouble, because you can just, this part will be void. Like, you don't even have to worry about doing this step if you're going to do the real paintbrushes. Yeah, don't worry about the lines on the paintbrush. Like I said, they're just kind of guidelines. We're going to do some sanding. We're going to do some other things, so it really doesn't matter. Do this one in the silver. you could also do super bright ones if you wanted more of that look. Just have to go with your style and you'll probably be happy, because this is a fun thing. And I think they're really fun. I tried to make, you know, mine the size that will fit on a journal page so that you can use them as pockets, tucks, whatever. I mean, they could just be cool decorations too, but like I said, a lot of this is going to get covered, so it doesn't matter. All right, let's do the bristles. These brushes they tend to be a little more smooth. You don't see the bristles as much, but I kind of like that it, oh, seriously, Amy. It looks like that. It's probably smart to wait a few minutes between steps too, but not when you're making a video. Okay, so I'm gonna let those ones dry and we'll play around with the other ones that are dry. That one's already dry. That's the other thing, because you're dry brushing so much. I'm gonna put those brushes in the water. We're done with that part. Because you're dry brushing, it dries very quickly. So I'm gonna start with the big one, and I have this lady, and I've cut mine out. You can tear them, you can do whatever you want. I did go ahead and fussy cut mine. And a lot of it, you're gonna put it on, and you'll see when I trim it out, a lot of it's gonna be gone. The face is the part that I think you need to focus on. So let me get my, where's my other, oh, it's right here. I want to ink her a little bit. I mean, you could get really grungy. You could do men on them, you know, if you were making like a manly, masculine type journal. That would be really cool. I just did the ladies because that's what the originals were. So I got spots on her face. Surprise. I always have to make a mess somewhere when I do this. Oh, well, she's got spots on her face. All right, so I just used glue stick to put them on, and it worked fine. I think there's enough tack between the paper and the that dry brushing. They stick fine. Oh, all the way up here. I keep wanting to put it at that lower part, and you're gonna cut off half her face doing that. So then I just put it on, and I know I've got glue all over the whole thing, but I'm just gonna cut off what I don't need. And you kind of want to let them dry completely again before you do any sanding, but luckily we're going to do a few other steps and stuff, so I think it'll be just fine. When I did the doily, I used art glitter glue because that's oh, I jumped right in here and I forgot to say hugs and blessings. Hugs and blessings to Terry, Wendy, and Sandy. Thank you so much for your kind comments. Thank you for watching my channel. Love you guys, and a huge thank you to Sandy. She sent me some extra Tim Holtz paper dolls, so thank you, because I do use those a lot, and I really appreciate that. That was extremely kind of you, my friend. She's very good to me. Always kind comments and just a lovely, lovely friend. So I'm going to put that on. So you can add any of your scraps, just anything you want, really. I liked the doily. That was another good little bit. I'll try to, I had it here, but I don't know what I did. It's probably behind all this paint. No, don't know. all the things that maybe you use in your art projects or something, you know, you can add all kinds of bits like that. Or just the flowers, if you have some little butterflies. Maybe a little bit smaller. Yeah, something like that maybe. And I just cut off whatever sticks over the edge. I don't stress about it, because that seems to work fine. I just smeared a whole blob of glue all over my hand. Oh, and I also need to say welcome to new subscribers, of course, and welcome back to those of you who have followed me for whatever length of time. I appreciate it. I'm just going to kind of put flowers wherever I want. It doesn't seem to be, you know, there's a reason or a rhyme. It's just whatever looks pretty, it works. Things can overlap or not. I really wish I knew what I did with my doily. I have stacks of paper here. There it is. So it just is a mess. Again, in a very short period of time. Yeah, I'm going to just put that there. These I do glue down with the art glitter glue because I do not like how the glue stick squeezes through all the holes. I mean, when I do a whole one, a lot of times I do use the glue stick, but it's very aggravating. This, the biggest thing is to make sure you get all those edges, because that will, you'll tear it and stuff if you don't. When you do the sanding portion, not that it matters if you tear it a little bit, but this is not a tidy process by any stretch of the imagination. It's a very fun idea. I like it. I chose to cut my flowers out, but you don't, like I said, you don't have to. You could tear bits off and stuff. If you had like floral tissue paper, that would probably work fantastic. I was thinking that after I did these. It's lawn day for the common areas, so sorry about the, if you hear the lawnmowers and all, blowers. Okay, then what I did is, let me put these in here. I put my finger in whatever kind of color paint I wanted. And then I just kind of did this sort of thing. Wherever. You could probably use a brush. I just feel like I have more control when I use my hands to do these type of things. But that's, of course, personal preference. You can wear gloves, but acrylic paint washes right off, so I'm not that worried about it. It's not as bad as the inks. Oops. If you get too much, you can just do that. Okay, I will let this one dry a bit before we do any sanding, so we will revisit that. I'll try to wipe off whatever might come off. Probably not much, but that's okay. Let's see, I think I want to use this lady. Very pretty Asian lady. I think I'm going to go around her head rather than have those triangles up there. That way we can see a little bit of that gold. Not that it matters, but probably a good idea to wash your hands in between. Just get a better result, probably. Use some roses, maybe, because they're littler. These ones are. And I don't know exactly what her process was for, you know, doing that. But this is just kind of what I came up with by looking at it. Maybe some numbers. $19.29. These ones you definitely don't need much with, because there's a little. Joking on my own spit. Takes some talent. think I might just do something like that. Fingers keep sticking to everything. It's sticking to the glue that's on top of that number sheet. So you're just making little collages, really. Put it down a little lower. Okay, and then we'll add some little bits of paint again, here and there. That one we didn't have to poke a hole in or anything. My blue's all dried out. You don't need a lot of paint, that is for sure. Because it goes far. I don't feel like I need a whole lot anything else. Okay. It's just a very little thing. Okay, let's see how we're going with this one. I think this one should be pretty much dry. Yes. So I have, I stole this idea from Mitzi. Thank you, Mitzi. A prescription bottle, and I just put one of those sander things because I only have so many of these, and they all have the, you know, inking thing on them. So I just put it on a prescription bottle, and I put little round pieces of the Velcro on there to make it stay, and then I can take it off and put a new one on. And you just got to hang on to these. They are a little tricky because you don't want to rip it, so don't like get all super heavy handed because you'll mess it up if you do that. You don't have to do a ton of sanding. I don't sand on their faces at all. And then I did some inking. And of course you can go as heavy or light as you want on this. And then I added some stamping, which again, your choice of what you want to stamp on them. Just looks kind of cool. This is one of Tim Holt's script stamps. And then what I did do for the last one, which I didn't do a very good job of, so I'm going to try to do better, is I took a piece of paper and covered her face so that, you know, I don't want the writing on her face. Okay, I think that one is done. If I think of anything else I want to add, I can always do that. But so there's that one. You can make them as grungy or not, but kind of grungy is the thing because they're supposed to be old, well-loved and used paintbrushes, right? Okay, there's that one. Let's see this one. It's still a little bit wet. Maybe we'll do the stamping part first because that won't mess anything up, I hope. You could use stamps, postage stamps on these too, would look cool. Yeah, like that takes no time at all. It'll be easy to wash off, so I'm not that worried about it. What? How long? Okay, we're good. I don't know if this is wet. No, it's dry. Okay. I'm just gonna gently, because this isn't very big, I don't want to. Kind of even like that being loose. I don't mind that. I'm just going to ink it more. Okay, I think that's all I'm going to do to that one. I know that wasn't much, but it's not very big, so let me get this out of the way because it's kind of thick. And we'll look at these. And I'll bring this one back. I'll bring it up closer so you can kind of see. And I've just obviously glued it at the bottom and across the top like we always do with belly bands. And just added a piece of paper so you could see. But you could also add another one if you wanted to, like that, and glue them together, glue it down at the bottom and glue it up at the top, and you'd still be able to use it as a belly band. Or of course you can just use them as decorations. Just, I mean, along the side of a page would be really cool, I feel like, on a journal page. Ooh, this is the paper that my friend Sandy sent me. She sent me the paper dolls and this paper, and I don't remember, what did you call that die? Hold on just a second, let me see if I can find. Madrona tree. The bark dyed with madrona tree bark. Madrona tree. I don't know anything about madrona trees, but the color is fabulous because it's like, it's not coming across on the camera. It's like a dusty peach, where avocado dye is like a dusty pink. This is more of a dusty peach, dusty, it's not even rose. It really is like a dusty peach. It's just a great color. So thank you so much for that. But this rose on here just went really well with it. So that is a journal page that's all ready to go in a journal. But I definitely think it would be cool if I'd have had this one done. I probably would have put it there instead of the butterfly. I put the butterfly somewhere else. But yeah, those are very fun to do. And I really like the idea of these along the edge of the page, the skinny tall ones. All right, guys, I will let you go with that. I hope you have a fantastic weekend, and I love you. Bye.